Suggests that the queen actually apocalypse, considering that the roaring is caused by creating dark fountains, which is the main thing the knight has done. Bringing about the roaring seems to be the knight's goal. The queen didn't know a cyber world. This also may suggest that the queen actually met the knight, which could potentially narrow down the candidates. Queen then mentions that the knight created this world today. In the next line, we see further emphasis on the knight's hand, although this time they specifically describe its hand as being long. This is very important, as the more descriptions of the knight's appearance we get, the easier of a time we'll have narrowing down its identity. The queen also mentions a random, fractured sentence in the middle of the queen's monologue. Gives you this line of dialogue. No, I get it. It's you and that host between two things that goes beyond normal. Combine that with the second word, blocked, and it seems like Spamton wants to block some sort of unusual connection. Given that he is obsessed with cutting the strings that make him a puppet, it's likely that he wants the power of determination in order to block the link to whatever entity is controlling his fate. So it means that the knight probably has a soul, which means that the knight is armor in the light world, or owns something that the dark world might convert into armor. That would certainly improve their chances of being the knight. And with that, there's no further mention of the knight thus far in Deltarune. That said, I do need to point out one other piece of evidence that should help us narrow down the candidates. Specifically, we know that the Knight created the Cart Kingdom Dark Fountain and the Cyberworld Dark Fountain, and which narrows it down a little bit. But more importantly, Birdly and Noelle wind up in this dark world. It seems exceedingly unlikely that either of them would jump into a dark world the way Chris and Susie do. And since they're literally sitting at the table when the Dark Fountain is sealed, this suggests that they had sat down before the Dark World was created. Furthermore, this closet specifically has text that says that a large person could fit in there, which seems to be hinting that the Knight was hiding in this room and sit down. At the same time, Chris and Susie enter the castle town and hang out for a minute. They then leave the castle town and start heading towards the library. The Knight creates the Dark Fountain, tells Queen potential candidates. Like I said before, I will be including all of the important named characters, even if they haven't actually appeared in the plot, which includes Darkners like Ralsei, Lancer, and Spamton. Even though Darkners probably can't wield determination, they can steal souls, which means that, in theory, much like Flowey, a Darkner could create dark fountains if they manage to steal the soul of a Lightner. Since Toby Fox has introduced this plot device, we have to assume it's possible, and thus I will be including the Darkners in this analysis. Each character to reason that the Knight likely knew about Ralsei's dark world existing inside of the supply closet. As such, it seems unlikely that Alphys would intentionally endanger Chris and Susie by sending them to the supply closet where she likely knows there's a dark world. Even if she is the Knight, I don't buy that she would put any fingers. He has quite long arms, is known to wear the armor of a knight, and is known to wield various weapons both for combat and for gardening. It's highly probable that the worn dagger was a weapon given to Kara by